and welcome back to another episode of Across the Board. It is January 15th, a nice little Thursday, that's for sure.
Freaking
Um,
cold, man. Well, gotta
yes,
step outside my
chilly.
house this morning. I was freezing, brother. I did not have enough
It
clothes
was
on.
cold up here.
I,
Yeah,
I didn't I did not have enough clothes on, but I had to get to school, so I was darting out the house this morning.
I saw a guy walk into school today with shorts. I was I was bamboozled.
Dude, that was me. Like I had I had me a hoodie on and my shorts,
You
and
walk
I was like,
that's no, bro, no,
well, I know,
that's
and like
terrible.
I gotta walk outside for a lot of my classes too. So I walked outside, I'm like, oh no,
Nah,
not to play.
rookie move.
Yeah,
Um, Well, but yeah, welcome back. We got a couple of things to talk about. We did not get an episode out on Tuesday because, well, we had technical difficulties. We were actually
a lot of them.
together, and yeah, just had a lot of technical difficulties. Didn't get it out. Didn't get it out. So
That was sad, man.
we're here.
Especially with all the good college basketball games we had this week. A lot of good see
Yeah.
and three buzzer beaters just last
Mhm.
night. Mm-mm-mm.
What a night last night. Yeah, that was great. But yeah,
But
sadly, nothing this week
but
so
not
far.
the point of today's video though. College basketball, we'll say
No,
that for Monday.
no. No, yeah, we'll save that for Monday. Speaking of Monday, one of the things we have to talk about is the CFB, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we'll talk about Saturday and Sunday, and that being the NFL playoffs. Um, yeah,
They did not disappoint. That's for sure. I mean,
they didn't,
holy excitement.
for sure, for sure. Those were some really good games, all of them, other than like the Monday night game. But so be it. That's all right.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we got to go over those and what happened there. So we might as well just dig right into it.
Mhm. Well, let's just start. Let's start in Carolina with good old Los Angeles and the Carolina Panthers. I'll tell you what. Watching this game, I had Rams went up 14 zip, and I'm like, well, that's about all. That's about all she wrote. Um,
Yeah.
Carolina, man, they played well. They played well to end the first half, and this was a great game. They managed to stay in this game the entire time. We
Hmm.
talk about the Rams finishing the season off 3-3 with some blown leads during that stretch, but Bryce Young buckled down during this game. Um, Hubbard played well this game. Um, Bryce Young was 21 for 40. They went in the air 40 times this game. Bryce Young was
I
21
was
for
to say, yeah,
40. Yeah,
they
Bryce
actually
Young,
threw the ball like a ton.
a lot. Yeah, they went 40 attempts. Bryce Young was 21 for 40. He had 264 passing yards with a passing touchdown and an INT. Um, Hubbard went 13 for 46, 3.5 average, two TDs in this game on the ground. Um, Coker had a game. He had
Yeah.
nine receptions for 134 yards with a TD. Um, but this game did not disappoint. Uh, Bryce Young had a solid game. Hubbard punched it in the end zone. Um, Offensive game for sure. Uh,
Hmm.
Again, and it didn't surprise me the fact that it was a one score game as close as it was because obviously we talked about earlier in the season when they had played how close it was um, with these two teams. I think 31-28 was the final before. Um, but again, uh, Hubbard played well. Bryce Young had a solid
Hmm.
game. I think there's a lot of positives for this Carolina team after this game. I mean, a lot of people didn't
For
expect
sure.
them to even. A lot of people didn't even expect them to be in this playoffs, but they're here. They put up a good showing. I think it can only go up for here for this team. I think there's a lot of positives to build off the season. Um, LA, I wouldn't say LA had their best. LA had some moments in this game. Um,
Hmm.
Matthew Stafford, talking about going in the air, he had 42 passing attempts. He was 24 for 42, threw for 304 yards with three passing touchdowns and an INT. Kyron Williams, 13 for 57, 4.4 average. Blake Corum got in the game, 11 attempts, 45 yards. Um, Nakua, 10 receptions for 111 yards with a TD. Devontae Adams had 5 receptions for 72 yards. But again, I think it's no surprise that LA was able to put up 34. I think this team has been good offensively this season, as we know they can be. Um, Now we did see in that game Matthew Stafford had a hand injury. I believe he hit his own teammate's helmet. Remember his own O lineman's
Yeah, he
helmet
did
on
indeed.
the
He did indeed.
follow through. Um,
Mhm.
but they've again down the stretch the Rams have not played their best football. Um, I would say kind of middle of the season, almost week 11. We
Mhm.
thought this was a Super Bowl team, and they still are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not
Oh,
saying they're not
definitely.
a super. It's not that they're not a Super Bowl team. Um, but they've kind of been exposed. They've blown some leads. They've had their moments. Matthew Stafford's turning over the ball. This team has had their turnovers. Um, but for them, it's a good thing they were able to come away with this win. They move on to the next round of the playoffs where they will take on the Bears, I believe. Am I correct with that? That should be the Bears are
Yep.
playing net.
Yep.
Um, but
Yeah. Yeah. At the
and-
Bears.
and- but at the end of this day, I mean, I think a lot of positives for Carolina. I think they can go up from here. Rams, they are able to pull away though. And I think for them, they're going to have a tough test going to play
Mhm.
Chicago next week. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
Yeah. That game was fun to watch. I did want to say that Nakua had two touchdowns. Um,
Did he
but
really?
yeah, he had two touchdowns. Yeah. So, but yeah, Nakua, I mean, he played great. Probably should have had a third touchdown. Had a drop ball at the end of the first half that for the Panthers. Sorry, for the Rams to get an even bigger lead on the Panthers, but uh, he dropped it. Not something we're used to seeing with him, but he played great. Stafford played great. Had that one turnover, but was really just kind of like a forced ball. He really shouldn't have thrown. Overall, though, I mean the Rams, yeah, they played all right. Wasn't their best ball, especially on third downs. Their third down percentage was horrendous. They went 3 for 13, um, which is just terrible. But we knew that Carolina, if they could, that was going to be one of the ways that they could beat them, is if they could stop them on third down, because well, the Rams aren't the best on third downs. So but and they did that, and so they had a chance in this game. But the one thing they could not do was stop them in the red zone. They went 4 for 5 in the red zone. I mean, that's just what the Rams do. They get down there, and it's kind of hard to stop them. But the Panthers did the same exact thing. They went 4 for 4 when they got in the red zone. They were great. They weren't too great in third downs though, 5 for 12, and they also had those two turnovers that didn't help. But overall, great
And,
game. Panthers stayed in it, and they had a chance.
mhm. And that was another big factor for them. You mentioned the turnovers. That was another factor for them when the turnover battle.
Yeah.
You were able to do it the last time you played them. You were able to get a win.
Mhm.
Weren't able to do it this time. But again, like you talked about, um, and again, I mean, I think there's only a lot of upside to this Panthers team. We'll see what they're able to do going forward. Um, But again, what an amazing game to watch and did not disappoint. And again, me and you kind of suspected this. I mean, we didn't think they would blow them out, but we knew they would be able to compete. But they competed for a while and had the lead going to the final drive.
They did. They played great. I
Mhm.
mean, the Panthers kind of sorry, the Rams kind of shot themselves in the foot throughout the game. They had a ton of penalties in that game, more than they've had all season in a game. They were what I think the fourth, well, they're the least penalized team in the last like 5 years. But I'm pretty sure they're the like fourth penalized team on offense, least penalized team on offense, and they had 9 penalties that game. So yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. And then the opposite of what we thought Carolina would be was we thought they would run the ball, and they didn't. They threw the ball a ton, only had 80 yards on the ground. And I think if they could have got the run game going a little better, obviously against the Rams, it's going to be hard with such a great defensive line. But if they could have got that done a little better, then maybe they would have won this game. But again, a lot of upside for this Carolina team, especially if they can keep all their players going into next year. Bryce Young did not look bad in this game, and that was kind of one of the questions to see if they could win this game. He would have to be good. So So yeah, a great overall game and a great
And
start to the playoffs
yeah,
last
and
week.
one final thing I just want to throw in there, kind of a surprise to me. Rico Dowdle didn't during this game. He really didn't get a lot of to me didn't get a lot of touches as much as I thought he would. Maybe me and you both thought he would.
Mhm.
Um, Hubbard got majority of the touches in this game.
He did.
Um, but I did just want to point that out there because I mean, me and you talked about him being uh, one of the factors in this game, and he
Yeah,
really didn't get a lot of touches.
yeah, true that, true that. But yeah, great start for the playoffs. It was an amazing game down to the wire, and it kind of continued. The next game that was played later that night was the Packers and the Bears, and this game was an in-state classic. Probably one of the best games,
Chicago
playoff
had
era. Hmm.
25 fourth quarter points.
They did indeed.
25 fourth quarter points in this
They
game.
did.
Um, Dennis Allen and this defense buckled down in the second half. They played very well in the second half of
Hmm.
this game. Um, a surprise. Um, Chicago lost the turnover battle in this game. They were minus
They
two.
did. Yeah.
They were minus two in this game. Um, Caleb Williams threw two INTs and another game where they threw the ball a ton.
Well, we kind of
And
knew
they,
that they probably were going to have to do that against the Packers, especially if they got down.
yeah,
We do,
well, and they,
obviously Chicago's a quite run first team, and they did run the ball a good bit, but them being down so much that whole second half, all they could do was throw.
yeah, and I mean, 24 for 48, 361 yards, two TDs, and two INTs. Um, Swift was got 13 attempts, 54 yards, 4.2 average with a TD. Um, Colson Loveland, talked about him a little bit when we were previewing this. He had 8 receptions for 137 yards.
He was the
Uh,
go-to guy for Caleb Williams.
Definitely. And DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 64 yards with a TD. And it's kind of funny because seeing that being a go-to guy, kind of because earlier in the season it really seemed like he was Roma Dunze was his guy. Roma Dunze had 2 receptions for 44 yards in this game. Packers limited him a little bit in this game, but Colson Level, big target this game. Offense got going in the second half. Dennis Allen and his defense played much better in the second half.
Yeah,
But Jordan
yeah.
Love,
The other, just to mention, the other touchdown that Caleb Williams threw was to I'm going to butcher his name, but Alamade Zacchaeus.
sounds good to me.
Yeah, yeah. It was that. I mean, it was his only catch, and it was a touchdown. So
Mm, that's huge. And then Jordan Love, he threw the ball 46 times,
he did
24
indeed.
for 46, 323 yards, four TDs,
Hmm.
110.51 QBR rating. Like, Jordan Love
He
played
played
really
great.
well in this game. He did. Jacobs on the ground, 19 attempts, 55 yards, 2.9 average. Um, his Jordan Love's targets in this game, he found Romeo Dobbs, 8 receptions for 124 yards with a TD. Matthew Golden, 4 receptions for 84
He
yards with a
was
TD.
he was great for them.
Hmm. And then you got Jaden Reed, 4 receptions, 43 yards in the TD. Christian Watson, 3 for 36 with a TD. I mean,
Yeah.
spreading the ball out, but Jordan Love played very well in this game. I think he did the things necessary majority of this game to win the game. The
Oh, he
ground
did.
game could, and the ground game couldn't get going, um, and that's tough. And we talk about a lot of keys to victory, and I think for any team we could obviously argue, and the same thing, and any offensive coordinator I think would say the same thing. If we get the ground game going, our playbook opens up. Um, it didn't, but you were still able to manage without it getting going in this game.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, it was kind of the opposite of what we thought both of these games would be, just based on weather wise. It was raining in Carolina, threw the ball a ton, and then it was cold and snowing at one point in Chicago, and they had 670 4 yards in the air. I mean, this game was action packed, that's for sure, on the offensive side, um, with 876 yards in total, which was insane. Um,
mhm.
but again, the biggest part about this game wasn't really just the through the air or the ground. It was the fact that Green Bay was up 21-3 going into half, and we thought that. I mean, I at least I thought that they would. I
Well,
mean, the Bears might get blown out.
you texted me, and we were both just like, well, I mean, none of us expected this, and we
Mm-mm,
didn't. I mean,
no,
but again, and the Chicago defense has obviously had their struggles this season,
yeah,
but Dennis Allen got this team ready to go. They made their second half adjustments. That's huge in a game like
that's
this.
yeah,
You've
yeah.
got to make adjustments. They did that. Held the Bears to six, or excuse me, held the Packers to 6 points in that fourth quarter. Um, but then the
Yep.
offense got going. Ben Johnson, again, a great offensive minded guy.
How
Caleb
about yeah?
Williams started buckling down. He started playing better. I mean, collectively, the team effort in the second half was amazing from this Bears team.
Well, I'm about to say it
Losing,
didn't even come. It didn't even come straight out the half either. They only had 3 points in the third quarter,
yeah, I mean,
and
it
you
was
thought they would have most of the adjustments in that. And they had a few. They had the ball a few times during the third quarter and couldn't do anything. And stopped the Packers. Got it and just couldn't do anything with it. And then come the fourth quarter, and yeah, the Packers finally score a couple more, and you're like, okay, all right, well maybe the Packers will just kind of get away with this one in a close one. And but no, Bears came back. Caleb Williams threw some amazing passes. I think this game proved that he is probably one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. No matter if you don't want to say it or not, he has some of the best arm talent in the league. Probably they're right up there, close to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and them, just on the way that he can chuck a ball. Uh, Obviously everybody talks about that fourth down play. It's a go for it play. You can't. It's for the game, and he's rolling out left, getting chased, and he off his feet, which you've seen it so many times, but he gets off his feet and chucks a ball, 35 yards into I mean, in between what, four defenders, and hits Roma Dunze for you know the first down and what they needed and what would actually propel them to eventually win this game. And yeah, I mean, man, for the Bears, the second half could not have been any better. The first half is what kind of scares you on whether the Bears can keep winning. Um, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, but it's just like what happened in the first half, and then you go to the second half, and this is the Bears team we've seen all year. Just a little bit different though, in the fact that they threw the ball a million times, but had to, but they did it effectively, and they did it so great against a. I mean, the Packers obviously they don't have the best defense in the nation, but they don't have the worst, and for them to give
it's
up 25 in the fourth quarter was insane.
it's definitely heartbreaking, especially for Matt Lafleur, um, and Jordan Love. I mean, again, Jordan Love played well offensively. They played well, um, but there's just things like you just can't give up that big of a lead. I think in the National Football League, it can happen. Of course, we know
Yeah,
this, but
yeah.
being up 18 points at half, and you should not lose that game. Let alone you should
Not,
never give up. You should
I'm about
not
to
give
say
up.
not even being just 21-3 at half. It's the fact that it was 21-6 going into the fourth quarter. Like, that's just insane to me. I don't know. I think it was the biggest comeback in Bears history in a playoff game. I believe, at least, might have been biggest comeback in the Bears history in general. Um, I could be wrong there, but again, I mean, the Bears did everything they could in this game, and they got away with it. The Packers kind of shot themselves in the foot with a couple of penalties and stuff, but man, their defense played so great in the first half just to get, I mean, demolished in the second half. Just the fourth quarter.
And but you also have to know that Ben Johnson, being the great one of the great offensive minds that he is, that he's going to make adjustments, and you have to adjust it with that as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that you got to know that he's going to make adjustments. Um,
Oh, for sure.
but you but you hate to see it, especially because they were doing everything right in the first
Yeah.
half to walk away with a playoff win at Soldier Field, but they couldn't do it.
Well,
Hate to
and
see it.
and honestly, it should have never been this close in general for the Bears. because they sucked in the red zone in this game. Um, they were 2 for 5 in the red zone. They couldn't get. I mean, they got to the red zone multiple times or close to it in the first half and didn't do anything with it, or went for it on fourth down and didn't get it. And they played great on third downs. They were 10 for 15, but then sorry, 10 for 19, and it's just like, man, it was so weird to see that this Bears offense has been so good in the red zone all year, play this Packers team, and then all of a sudden couldn't do anything in the red zone. And the Packers were perfect in the red zone when they got down there. They just couldn't get down there late in the game. Yeah, it was just overall amazing game to watch. Probably one of the best playoff games I've ever watched, if not the best. Um, and yeah, I mean, great for the Bears, and they'll play well the Rams.
Be a fun one. And of course, we'll get to that later. But again, huge win for them, man. I know a bunch of Bears fans were excited. I mean, happy to see that. And again, a bright future. Congrats to Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, in this offense and this team for what they've been able to do.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Got to give them their credit.
Mhm.
I kind of wanted to round off the NFC side here, just so we can go ahead and get those playoff pictures done. Um, the 49ers and Eagles. It was the second game on Sunday. Uh, right? It was yeah, second game on Sunday.
Mhm.
But it was a great game. It was a close game, kind of what we expected, and
It
yeah, I
it
mean,
was definitely an interesting game.
yeah,
Um, Philadelphia had 140 rushing yards in this game. They got it. They were getting it done on the ground.
hmm,
Uh, 49ers turned the ball over twice.
they
They were
did.
beat on time of possession. So kind
Hmm.
of those numbers, you would kind of think, well, should Philadelphia won the game? They didn't. Uh, they had they had 7 penalties in this game to San Francisco's one.
Yeah,
Um, Brock Purdy did not play great,
he
but he
did
made
not. I
some.
mean, he didn't play. He did not play his best game, but he gave them the chances they needed late. Um,
For, yeah, for sure.
yeah,
He was 18 for 31. He threw for 262 yards. He had two TDs and two INTs. Jawan Jennings got
there you go.
himself
There you
got
go.
himself a passing TD. Um,
Hmm.
Christian McCaffrey on the ground was only 15 for 48, no TDs. Uh,
But
but in
he did
the
have two. Yeah,
but in
did
the
have
air,
yeah. Which
six
we've seen
receptions.
it. We've seen it all year. I mean, he's been more effective in the passing game, honestly, this year than he has been the rushing game.
Mhm.
Even though he's explosive in both and all around, probably arguably the best running back in the league, he's just so good in the passing game as well, as you saw in this game. I
Yeah,
mean, it's just, yeah, he was great.
s- 6 receptions, 66 yards, and two TDs.
Hmm.
You know who stepped up big in this game for that 49ers offense? Demarcus Robinson. 6 receptions, 111 yards with the TD. He
Well,
was
I
getting
mean,
open.
he kind of had to. I mean, they had guys out. Obviously, Pearsall
George
was out this
Kittle.
game, and
Kittle
then
Kittle
yeah,
hurt
Kittle went
his
out with a
ACL.
yeah, yeah, and then Kittle went out with an ACL injury, which I believe he won't be back. So yeah, I mean, he kind of had to step up. Brock Purdy had to throw it to somebody. Jawan Jennings had a couple of those touches, but then or they used check a little bit more than they have, and then Christian McCaffrey knew was going to get the ball, but Robinson got the ball a ton, and hey, I mean, he looked like the number one wide receiver on that team. If you wouldn't have known that he wasn't, so
He
yeah, it would be good for them coming, in the upcoming game. Now knowing that obviously they won't have Kittle, uh, they have somebody else they can throw to that they've seen that is effective.
for sure. I mean, in a playoff game on the road in Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field, you need somebody to make big plays.
Yeah,
We expect it to be McCaffrey, George Kittle. Kittle goes down, but even early in the game, Demarcus Robinson was on point. Like he making
yeah,
big plays. He was getting open. I mean, when they needed a big play from him, he made the play. He
yeah,
he was a huge factor in this game, especially with George Kittle being out, he had to step up, and he did in this
for
game.
sure.
Um, on the Philadelphia side of things, I mean, Saquon Barkley had a great game, 26. attempts, 106 yards, 4.1 average. Uh, he did not score in this game though, um, but he played well. Bigsby got some looks, 4 attempts, 19 yards. Um, Smith was eight receptions for 70 yards. Goddard got him a receiving touchdown. He had 4 receptions for 33 yards. Brown,
He actually had two touchdowns that game
he had a rushing
with a
touchdown.
rushing touchdown as well.
Yeah, so he had the rushing touchdown and he had the receiving touchdown in this
Hmm.
game.
The only two touchdowns
AJ
that they scored.
and AJ Brown, 3 receptions, 25 yards. Um, really, just really didn't see him much in this game. Um,
Yeah, he had that big drop at the end, towards the end of the game. Obviously, trying to keep that game alive, and he drops a ball that's kind of wide open. I mean, he's a ball that we usually see AJ Brown catch, and even it, uh, man, it's kind of hard to say, but I think I know we've talked about it. It's hard to have a receiver as good as him. We said this with Ryan Williams with Alabama. It's hard to have a receiver as good as him that makes the plays that you see everybody that you see him catch everything, and then like this year, just like Ryan Williams, it was he didn't get that many throws. He wasn't throwing the ball a ton, and then when he was, well, he has a couple of drops. It's going to happen, but they're elevated more because he doesn't get thrown the ball that many times, and so when he doesn't, he finally does get thrown the ball and he drops it. Everybody's like, well, dang, you know he's not that good anymore. But it's not. I think I say it this way: it's if you're not getting the guy touches during the game all throughout the year, he's honestly not used to being thrown the ball a ton. He went from getting thrown the ball every single play basically last year to this year. He's not getting it thrown to him at all. Basically, it's
yeah,
kind of
and
hard to uh, adjust to that.
yeah, and I mean, but and the big thing too, I mean, this whole offense.
Yeah.
Um, we talk about this offense having the year they had. I believe Fangio was out as the
Hmm.
offensive coordinator. He's gone. They just had a setback this season, and
They did.
again, AJ Brown and really Smith, Devontae Smith. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he really had himself one of his best years.
No.
I don't think he was. You
Offense in
know,
general, I mean, offense
he,
in general didn't have their best year. That's for
yeah,
sure. Even in this
yeah,
game, I mean, it come down. You thought maybe they would get it together for this game, being it's a playoff game. You have to win. It's at home. All the above. They're playing a good team like San Francisco. They're going to have to play their type of ball, and maybe the offense will finally kind of open up, come alive. And
yeah,
honestly, it wasn't. Man, they had 13 more minutes of time of possession in this game. They ran the ball great, like you said, at 140 yards, but only at 167 yards in the air. And their offense just wasn't. I mean,
I
it
mean,
wasn't effective at all. I mean, again, they scored the 6 points. They scored a touchdown in the first. They score a touchdown in the second quarter, and then they don't score a touchdown in the second half, and
the
it's
off
three points each.
the offense was dead in that second half. Like
Yeah.
they got a huge interception on Brock Purdy. They were on the other side of the field,
Hmm.
and they did nothing with it. I mean, they and honestly, kind of both offenses. I will say in that third quarter, to me it was kind of dead, but
Well, yeah,
more like
yeah.
I mean, and on Philadelphia for sure. I mean, it was kind of just dead offensively.
I think
But
Philly had more of the chances for them to score
they
than
did.
San
I mean,
Fran during that time. But then again, you go into the fourth quarter and San Fran takes advantage of that and scores 13 points, while
mhm.
Philly only scores three and they pull away with this game. So like it just overall, both offenses didn't have their best games, but it's almost like we expected this more from Philly than we did San Fran, obviously, because San Fran's been so good on the offensive side over the last, 5, 6 games. Philly hasn't been really good on the offense all year. We knew their defense was going to give problems to San Francisco, and they obviously did. But at the same time, you look at this game and go, San Francisco might have just had a down game, obviously with all the people hurt and Brock Purdy's main targets being out, didn't help him either. But again, Philly
But
just it was a letdown on that side
yeah, I
because
mean,
it just wasn't anything that anybody wanted to see if you're a
yeah.
Philly fan.
And if you're Philadelphia, that's something you got to take advantage of. I
Yeah,
mean, you are a at the injuries that San Francisco has had and where you're at, you are a better team than San Francisco, I think. I
yeah,
mean, you are the better team.
hmm
When you're given the chances that they've had in this game and you're not able to capitalize, again, I mean, this offense, San Francisco, as good as they've been this season, they're going to
yeah,
score.
yeah.
You can't, I mean, again, they have a great defense, but I feel like you can only sit on a defense for so long until they finally
Oh,
break.
well, you can. I mean, the saying is defense wins championships, but when your offense is Philly's offense and they can't score at all, you can't. It's kind of just impossible. If they would have gotten past this round, it would have been a great win for Philly. And so what? But again, we probably wouldn't expected them to win the next round just because of how bad their offense plays. And so, yeah, for them, that's obviously something they're gonna have to go in the offseason and try to fix, and they will. They'll get a new offensive coordinator and adjust, see who they keep, see who not, whatever that may be. It's just their defense did keep them in this game. Their offense couldn't win them this game.
For sure. For
Well,
sure.
move on to the next game, which was actually the first game of the day on Sunday, which is the Bills and the Jaguars. Another great game. This had made it
I mean,
three in a row
I
for
believe
great
Josh.
games.
I believe Josh Allen got injured like 3 times during this game.
Josh
Like,
Allen might get injured. Like he gets injured every game, but
dude, I think
definitely in this one, he got hit a
first he got
lot.
checked for a concussion. Then he
Yeah,
had something in his knee, and then he hit his hand on a helmet.
yeah. I
I
mean, but
believe
Josh Allen being Josh Allen, man, he battles back. He played great. He did what he does, and I
this
mean, that's what
this was a
Buffalo is.
great game. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this was a great game. And we talk about what Jacksonville had to do on the ground. They did it. They got 154 rushing yards in this game.
they did.
Um, they played well. When the ground game was going, they got it rolling. A very unfortunate interception on their final drive. It was deflected in the air and picked off.
Yep,
Um, but I think there's a lot of positive for Jacksonville.
for sure.
Uh, I mean, they really played well. Uh, they um, they did, I think, what was necessary on the ground game. We talked about one of the keys being the ground game. They got going there. Trevor Lawrence, he had a solid game. He did throw 2 interceptions. One of them was a bad throw, a misread. He was 18 for 30, 207 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 2 INTs. ETN went for 67 yards on the ground. Uh, Tootin, Tootin was a dog in this game. He got in this game. He hit 4 attempts for 51 yards. He played a huge role in this game. And you know who else played a huge role? And we talked about it. Parker Washington. Huge game. 7 receptions, 107 yards with a TD. Travis
hmm
Etienne got him a receiving touchdown. Brian Thomas, huge receiving TD in this game. Um, Offensively, they got the ground game going, and Parker Washington had a great game. But Buffalo played just a little bit better. They
Yeah,
they got the final TD they needed. They got a big interception. Um, Allen was 28 for 35 with 273 passing yards and a TD, 116.69 QBR. And we talked about this. The best rushing we were interested to see the best rushing defense versus the best running back in the league. And the rushing defense won. Uh,
hmm
James Cook was 15 for 46. He only was averaging 3.1. Josh Allen 11 for 33 on the ground, but he got 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Khalil Shakir had a great game. He had to step up. This wide receiver room was running a little small uh, with what they were working with. Khalil Shakir, though, 12 receptions, 82 yards. Brandon Cooks had a good game, 3 receptions for 58 yards. Um, Dalton Kincaid, 3 receptions, 28 yards in the TD. Um, but again, in this game, Josh Allen, we knew he was going to play well. He's a dog. I mean,
yeah,
he is leader of this team. He is he's a proven winner. He can win. Um, sacrificed his body in this game a good bit. I mean, he was just. I
yeah.
mean, played a huge role in this game. Um, Again, with Buffalo, offensively, they're going to be a good team. their struggles defensively with the rush defense. They have one of the best passing defenses in the league. I mean, if not, I think they are the best passing defense in the league, if not. But they're a top passing
Mhm.
defense. They played well defensively, I think, in the air. Obviously, a big trouble being the ground game for them, though. And we saw in this game what could happen when Jacksonville got outside with Tootin and ETN. But offensively, Josh Allen took control of this game. He did the things necessary to win. Again,
Mhm.
finding ways to win games, get a huge and an unfortunate interception for Jacksonville at the end of the game. Trevor Lawrence threw second of the game. But how well Buffalo is as disguising their defense in the pass game. Um, but again, this was a great game. Again, Jacksonville, a lot to build off of. Liam Cohen, first year head coach. I know you saw the interview. Did you see the interview?
Mhm. Yeah.
That was awesome. Um, Sadly, though, people were showing some hate, so that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
Did,
yeah.
did,
Again, we gotta give credit to Jacksonville here because they had a great year, an amazing year. Again, went from 13 losses last year to 13 wins this year. So great for Liam Cohen, first year head coach, and yeah, it's something to build off of going into next year for sure. They'll be a contender for maybe more than just a first round playoff game. And so, and they didn't play bad in this game. It was back and forth. Um, it just we knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to have to be good through the air to win this game, and they weren't. I mean, obviously, only 200 yards, and they just didn't. They didn't really have the passing offense that they needed to have against this Buffalo team to win this game. They did what they needed to do on the defensive side against Buffalo, stopping James Cook and making Buffalo actually throw the ball. But again, when you have a guy like Josh Allen, it's such a great quarterback on the opposite side, it's hard to stop him. No matter if you pull the running game or not, he's going to run the ball or he's going to throw the ball, and that's what he was, and he was effective, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from this Buffalo team for them to win. Uh, and yeah, I mean Buffalo played great. They were 3 for 3 in the red zone, which was great for them. Jacksonville was 3 for 4. Um, if third downs, they were 50%, 7 to 14. Jacksonville was 5 for 9 in this game actually, so not too bad. But yeah, I mean Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things, and they win this game. Penalties were kind of a problem in this game for them, and then also they did. I do want to point out that Cam Little did miss a field goal at the end of the first half that would have this game would be tied, and he missed that long field goal at the end of the half. Uh, they had a did they not have they had a penalty on that drive that pushed them back, and then they didn't get as far down the field as they wanted, and we thought that maybe those 5 yards and that penalty would make a difference, and well, I guess we'll never know because
yeah,
then Cam will end up missing.
And it's crazy. I mean, obviously, going a little, I mean, flashing back to a game we talked about, Chicago and Green Bay. McManus missed an extra point,
Yeah,
and another playoff game. It was well, it wasn't a playoff game, but like Pittsburgh and Baltimore in
yeah,
Week 18, an extra point was missed. It didn't end up costing them at the end of the game, but there were some big misses in this game, and or big
yeah.
misses this playoffs and over
Hmm.
these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. But again, the Buffalo defense played great. They did what they needed to do. Obviously, that passing defense is amazing with 2 interceptions, and that's kind of what we need to see from Buffalo. Because again, everybody's expecting this. Everybody's expecting Buffalo to go basically to the Super Bowl. They're expecting Josh Allen this to be his year. You don't have Joe Burrow. You don't have Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. This is the year for Buffalo to win a Super Bowl, is what everybody's saying, and well, I mean, hey, they sneak by this first game against a great Jacksonville team, and they look like they have all the stops to be able to keep going. But
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
and this is a year with no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes. Like, I mean, it's set up. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like if you're Buffalo, this is set up the way you want it.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
like you said, we'll see how it pans out from there
yeah.
for sure.
And then the last game of Sunday night, well, it was a low scoring game, just to say the least. But it was the Chargers versus the New England Patriots. Obviously, they're playing in New England, and yeah, this game was not what we expected. I would
Well, I
say.
just have to point out these offensive lines were garbage. 11 sacks in this
I
game, 11 total
yeah,
sacks.
mhm.
Patriots got to Justin Herbert 6 times. Chargers even
So
got to
bad.
Drake May 5 times. I mean, that was brutal. Um, but
It was so man, I feel bad for Justin Herbert. You talk about Josh Allen taking a beating, man. Justin Herbert was taking I mean, he looked like he was fighting Muhammad Ali out there by himself, and that was it.
oh
I mean, he was
man,
just standing there getting hit. I mean, every single time I look at the game, I would see Justin Herbert on the ground. Like it's just, or he has five guys just on top. Like
Mhm.
at one point there was a play, and I remember Justin Herbert snapping the ball, and legitimately as soon as the ball hit it wasn't even a screen pass. As soon as the ball hit his hands, he had to run because every single guard, every single guy on the offensive line missed every single one. And I was like, you got to be joking me. I mean, not even one guy can block. I mean, that's just like that's what it was all game, but it was for both teams. That was the surprising part. We knew that LA's offensive line might be a problem. It's been all year. They haven't been great, and we knew that it was probably going to be a key for New England to win this game. But we didn't think New England's was going to be this bad. And again, like you said, they had. I mean, Drake May got sacked more times than Justin Herbert. It
Uh,
might not be as many pressures. I don't know what
I
that
think,
number
I
was per
think,
se,
I
but
think, I think,
again,
yeah, I think Herbert was sacked a little more. I mean, it was closer way, six
oh
to five.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
get your,
yeah.
but
Sorry,
point
sorry, yeah,
being, like you said, I mean, now the Chargers pass rush is solid. The Chargers got a solid defense, but
for sure.
like you said, but it makes me concerned going to their next game. They're going to play I mean, an even better pass
Yeah,
rush. You're going to
yeah,
have Daniel
yeah,
Hunter,
and we'll
Will
yeah,
Anderson to worry
we'll
about. I mean,
yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that game in just a second because that's going to be key. But in this game per se, it was a key for the Chargers to stay in this game. Um, Obviously, they don't pull this game off. Drake May had a well, for what it was, he had a pretty good night. Just didn't have the touchdowns that people expected him to have. He threw for 17 of 29, 268 yards, one passing touchdown, and had an interception. He also had 10 carries for 66 yards. That was a big part of this game, him running, especially being pressured like he was. He had to get out of the pocket. Stevenson had himself a good night. On the ground, he went 10 for 53, but through the air, he had 3 for 75. So in total, 128 yards for him, which was what they needed. Um, Hunter Henry caught another passing touchdown this year. We've seen that quite a bit. Receiving 3 receptions for 64 yards and a receiving touchdown. Uh, Booty was great. He
LSU
was
boy,
4 for
go Tigers.
66. Yeah. Yeah. He was 4 for 66 yards. And I mean, overall, the Patriots' offense wasn't horrendous. They had 414 yards of offense, and if you looked at the score, you wouldn't have thought they did. You'd have thought maybe they had like 200. Uh, and but again, they didn't. They just couldn't. They couldn't really finish. They couldn't finish in the red zone. I mean, that's legitimately what it was. They went over three in the red zone, and that's a problem for them. That's something that would definitely have to kind of look at going to the next game. But the Chargers didn't help themselves out either in that area because they went over two in the red zone. Only five red zone attempts in total for these two teams compared to the other games, playoff games before this. That was nothing. So that was kind of crazy. But then New England again, we talked about both teams getting pressure, but they were 4 for 11 on third down. The Chargers, on the other hand, 1 for 10. That like can't do that. We knew it was going to be a problem potentially, and it was. I mean, it so was. Um, yeah, I mean, you look at this game and you go, New England probably should have won it by more with the way that their defense was playing, and their offense wasn't too bad. But at the same time, New England kind of had control of this game throughout the whole thing. Only win by 13, but the Chargers again never really had a chance. it's just something to look at, especially for the Chargers going into the offseason, man. This offense has been a letdown, even with a great quarterback like Herbert. Their offensive line has been bad. Their defense has not been bad, but
Well, that's
their
a big
offense is
talking point.
lackluster. Yeah.
Yeah, the big. I mean, we knew how good I mean, if you look at some of the most successful teams this year, the offensive line is where the strong suit is. Like
Mhm.
Justin Herbert's a great passer,
Yeah.
but you're gonna look at these numbers and think Justin Herbert played. I mean, he was 19 for 31 for 159 yards, 78.08 QBR.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're gonna look at those numbers and think like, like this just wasn't a great game for him. But it's so hard to have a good game when you're getting pressured as much as he was. I mean, it's so hard to settle in. You kind of don't have any trust. Like you're trying to get the ball out fast. You're kind of going quickly through reads. You're going to miss some guys.
Hmm.
Like again, you said it. This offseason, they've got to get this offensive line fixed. You cannot have this bad of an offensive line and expect to
Yeah,
be a
and
playoff
it's not
team.
what we expected from them this year, especially with Harbaugh. And we kind of expected more of a better offense. But they got some guys on the offensive line going into this year. They've had injuries. We all know it. Herbert's been hurt. Offensive line guys have been hurt. Wide receivers been hurt. All the above. We know that the Chargers have battled injuries through the whole year, and even going into this game. And that you got to give them that maybe that was kind of the issues of this year. But again, going into next year, they're going to have to find some guys to bring in, maybe get Justin Herbert some more weapons, get him a better offensive line to stand behind because again, he is a great quarterback. It's just hard when you can't go through all your reads and you're having to throw the ball, as soon as you get the ball in your hands. And when you do that, and we even saw, like you said, he has some off throws. He's missing some guys that he probably shouldn't miss. He's having some bad throws, and it just your rhythm, your timing's off, everything. And so yeah, the Chargers will definitely have to do something in the off season because it's a team that we think should compete, and especially in the AFC, it's something that they should compete and play against, and be one of the best teams. Well, Easton decided to pull a David Blaine on us and disappear for a second. Um, but he's back now, and we can move right on to the next game, which the last playoff game of the weekend and was the most disappointing playoff game of the weekend, I would say. All the other games were great. Obviously, New England won by 13 and kind of controlled that game. But then you went to Monday thinking, well, this game could be great. Great defense. Don't really know what we're going to get from the other side of the ball on both teams. Um, Steelers, you know, been up and down all year. Obviously, being maybe potentially Aaron Rodgers' last game, and who knows about Mike Tomlin? What's going to happen there? So there was a lot of storylines heading into this game, and well, I think all of those were blown away. It didn't really matter too much because this game got out of control pretty. I mean, I would say not really early because it was 7-6 at half. It was a boring game, but then
It was probably the fourth quarter when this game just really
yeah, yeah,
just flipped.
it definitely was. Yeah, it was just it wasn't. It was a really ugly game through the first three quarters. Obviously, again, total points were 13, and you thought, okay, well, this is the type of game that obviously the Texans want because their defense are playing good, but they want their offense to play better. But at the same time, this is a game that kind of favors Steelers in a way of they like these close games, especially at home. Maybe they could get it done, just get some offense rolling in the second half or just in the fourth quarter. And well, get to the fourth quarter, man, and this game is blown wide open by the Texans. Um, it just really disappointing. Uh, Especially, I mean, man, you look at the Steelers and you go, this could be last game for Aaron Rodgers, and you want to see him play good. He's an all-time great Hall of Famer, one of the best ever. Whatever you want to say about him, and you thought maybe he would have uh, a fourth quarter in him that would be really good, and it never did. Yeah, never did. In
I mean,
total, it just. the whole game he didn't look good. It's basically what the offense has been this year. They haven't been great. They haven't been horrendous, but they haven't been great. And this defense couldn't do anything either. So it didn't really help
I
in
think
that sense either.
I think the defense played well. I mean, the defense made some
At least
stops,
until the fourth quarter
and
when they
even then,
couldn't really make
I
trouble.
think I think a couple of were even defensive touchdowns. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no, they scored two touchdowns in the defense in the fourth.
yeah, I mean, we talk about Pittsburgh. They had 175 total yards of offense. You're not going to win games like that. Um,
Yeah,
you look at Aaron Rodgers in this game. Uh, he was
terrible.
17 for 33, 146 yards and an interception. His QBR rating was 53.19. He denied himself a great game on the ground.
No,
They didn't get going. They had 63 total yards rushing. Um, I mean, this offense just there was nothing. It was blank. And you got to credit the Houston defense. I think the Houston defense played very well in this game. Uh,
for
and
sure.
and the
We
Steelers,
knew they would. I mean, they've been the best defense in the league, so we knew going into this game was going to be tough for the Steelers.
and there
But
was
this
five
Texas defense
turnovers
showed
in this
why they were
game.
even better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there was five turnovers in this game. Um,
yeah,
Again, 175 yards not going to get it done. Houston then had 408 total yards in this game. Um, but Houston just was the better team. This offense looked bad. They could not get going for Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers didn't look great. There was just nothing there. And credit Houston, they get a huge win at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And I believe Pittsburgh has not lost a Monday night game since 1992. Is that correct?
yeah. I
Um,
believe Mike Tomlin was. Well, I don't think he was perfect in Monday night games, but he has the best record, I think, out of all active head coaches.
yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin's a great coach. We definitely thought that they would have some kind of some adjustments. I would say in the second half
Yeah.
and come out hot, but nothing. Houston had 23 fourth quarter points in this
Yeah,
game,
again, another big fourth quarter for another team. I mean, that's kind of what the playoffs this last weekend were. Teams that had big fourth quarters. And like you said, man, in the turnover margins for this game, I mean, each team had an interception, each team had two forced fumbles. It's just like, man, you knew the Texans defense was going to be good. And like you said, the Pittsburgh defense wasn't terrible for most of the game, but the offense, both offenses, let both of the teams down really, and it's something to look to for, especially for the Texans in their next game. But it's also something for Pittsburgh to look at going into the off season, and because it wasn't good. I mean, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers' choice is going to be. Obviously, we all saw the news. Mike Tomlin is not returning. He stepped down as a head coach. Um, All-time great, will be a Hall of Fame guy. I don't know if he'll get another coaching job or if he's just going to go to, you know, be a TV network guy or something. Who knows? If he wants a job, there's definitely one out there that'll hire him. But again, this offense needs to be looked at the offseason for whoever comes in or whoever's at quarterback or whoever's at wide receiver, all the above. It's got to be reevaluated. It's got to be redone. I mean, over two in the red zone, 2 for 14 on third downs. No good there. Houston is good on the offensive side per se. In those numbers, they were 10 for 15 on third downs and 2 for 3 in the red zone. But again, turnovers were kind of a problem for them. We've seen that before, especially from CJ Stroud during the year. We'll see how that goes in the rest of the playoffs, depending on how far they get. Um, but again, just kind of a runaway game. Not really much to say about it. Good luck to Mike Tomlin, do whatever he does, and to Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if one of the all-time greats retires or not. And yeah, I mean that covers all the recaps for the games for this last weekend. We so now I guess we can cover the upcoming games for this weekend. We'll go through those. I mean, quickly and see if we can get through them pretty fast. But we'll start with one. We'll start with the first game on Saturday, uh, which is the Bills and the Broncos.
Mhm.
Interesting matchup here. Obviously, Broncos got the bye as the one seed, and now they get to take on Josh Allen and this great Bills, team. So
Yeah. This
who
great.
I don't know what to expect in this game, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll tell you what to expect. A good Broncos defense. Second in
True,
the league, second in the league in total yards allowed. They're the second best rushing defense in the league. So James Cook's going to have another busy week trying to get past this Broncos defense that is second in the
true that.
league. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, then you go to scoring defense, they're third in scoring defense. Red zone defense, they're first in scoring defense.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
no, excuse me.
they're first in sacks and they're first
Yeah.
in offensive
Yeah.
touchdowns. Yeah,
First in red zone defense, second and third down defense. I mean, they're going to have their hands full with this defense. I mean, they're playing
definitely.
one of the best defenses in the league. For the offensive side for them, they're 10th in total offense and the yards they have per game. On the rushing side of things, they're 16th in the league. They're kind of middle of the pack.
Yep.
Scoring offense, they're 14th in the league. Red zone
Yeah.
offense, they are 13th in the league. Third down offense,
Yeah,
they're 10th in the league.
all the offensive things aren't too, eye appealing per se. They're not the biggest, best, offense in the league. When you look at them, obviously Buffalo being on the other side, being one of the best offenses in the league, and so we'll see. It's going to be an offensive versus a defensive game. It kind of the same thing that the Buffalo Bills just had to go against.
Mhm.
Uh, in the way of they're the best rushing team and they're going to play a good rushing defense. But again, I think the defense for Denver will kind of give Buffalo more of a hard time in the passing per se. They probably will, at least that's what we expect.
Mhm.
But again, it's going to be all about Josh Allen. What can Josh Allen do? Can they get James Cook to start running the ball too? And then what can Denver do on the offensive side? What can Bo Nix do good? And what can they get rolling? Because again, we know the defense is great. They've played a ton of close games this year. They've had to come back a lot. But Buffalo's not one of those teams you can get down to, especially in a playoff, scene. It's just I don't think that Denver can let themselves get behind in this game, especially to Josh Allen, who knows that this is pretty much his year to win a Super Bowl. Uh, it'll be interesting to watch per se, and to see what those two teams can do because and basically a powerhouse for the last few years in Buffalo, and then Denver, who's I mean this is the first good year in a while, so it'll be interesting to see there. Um, I think we'll have a video out for predictions of our actual games probably tomorrow or something. So we'll give you the rundown of who we think will actually win. So we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next game.
I think we could do it now. We'll go over for our quick
You, oh,
predictions.
you want? Oh, sure, you could do that.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do it. So you go first. Who do you have in this game?
I think Buffalo will pull it off. I think Josh Allen will get his win here. I just don't think Denver can withstand the offensive pressure that the Buffalo Bills are going to give them.
What? So I'm gonna go against you. I really don't want to go against Josh Allen because
Fair enough.
I want him to get that Super Bowl really badly.
Uh-huh.
I want Buffalo to get the Super Bowl. I just to me, I look at it like this: good teams find ways to win games. The talk
True.
has been about the ugly wins that Denver's had,
Hmm.
but I think Buffalo's gonna have a hard time offensively getting going. I don't think James Cook is gonna be able to get going again, and
Hmm.
I think Josh Allen's gonna have a harder time in the secondary.
Yeah.
Um, I just think Denver's defense is going to be too much for them. Um, and I think Bo Nick's going to have a great game. In my mind, their ground game's going to have to get going, but good teams find ways to win games, and they've done that this year. And I think it continues in the playoffs. I'm going to take Denver to win this game.
Okay. Hey, we're going against each other.
Very,
You had the
ve-
better of me this last weekend for picks, so maybe I'm hoping maybe that's the opposite, and I had the better of you this weekend. So, but we'll
we'll
see.
see.
Go to the next game on Saturday. A big game, a great game, a game we saw not too long ago. 49ers versus the Seahawks. Obviously, Seahawks getting the one spot in the NFC. San Fran coming off that good win in Philly, and they get to head to Seattle, which they've done not too long ago, just a few weeks ago. Um, they obviously lost that game, but yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup here, especially to see what this San Francisco offense, if they can get back into the rhythm that they had before the playoffs. Obviously, didn't play great in Philly. Kind of expected it with as good as the defense that Philly had, but also with some injuries. We'll see what they do without George Kittle. That'll be a big hit, but you did see that Robinson was a good target for them. I think they'll get Pearsall back for this game. So you'll have a couple, more guys to target on the offensive side for Brock Purdy. But can they get this offensive rolling again? Can they get the offensive side of the ball rolling? But then also the defensive side in this game for sure will be a key because of how good Seattle is.
They're,
Third
I mean,
best scoring offense, yeah, in the nation. And they're, like for them, it's just if they can do that effectively, they could win this game, beat the San Francisco 49ers again. Their defense has played great. They're first in offensive opponent uh, points per game. Um, they're third in rushing yards, second in offensive touchdowns, and seventh in sacks, and sixth in takeaways. So
they're
the
first,
defensive
third
side
down
of the ball for
defense as
Seattle
well.
is great. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
this is
it's big
it for San Francisco. If you thought last week was tough with the defense, it's going to get even harder. You're going to play
for sure.
a much better defense in Seattle. They've had a great turnaround on the defense side of the ball. Sam Darnold's having a great year. Um, JSN's having a great season. Uh, Cooper Cup. I mean, this is a talented team this season, and honestly,
Yeah,
the whole NFC West, of course, besides Arizona, but the three teams in that other three teams in that division, they've all played very well.
they have. They have for sure. And we know what San Francisco can do. And I said it before the playoffs started. I thought this was a team that could win the Super Bowl with how Brock Purdy was playing. Obviously, this last week, they didn't have their best week. But San Francisco still has that explosive offense in them. Even with a couple of guys out, they can still do it. And so for the Seahawks, it's just keep that intact. Keep their defense, keep the 49ers offense off the field and just don't let them do what we know they can. If they can do the same thing that Philly did to them, the Seahawks can win this game just because their offense is better than what Philly's offense was. And they could easily do it, especially playing at home. It's going to be a great atmosphere for them. And it's going to be a tough game for San Fran. But at the same time, beating a team two times is hard. Beating a team, in the playoffs is hard. No matter if you played them in the regular season. So it'll be an interesting game for sure. One that I will look forward to watching. That's
For sure.
definitely. Uh, but yeah, well, who would you say? Who do you think you have to win this game?
I would take Seattle. I think I look at it like this. I think this is going to be the best defensive team this 49ers offense has faced.
Yeah,
Possibly
yeah,
no Kittle. I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup. But number two,
for sure.
I don't think this 49ers defense is going to be able to handle the Seattle offense. I think Seattle offensively has been amazing this year. I think Sam Darnold has a great game. However, he has been vulnerable to some interceptions.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Seattle is has more the complete team right now. I think 49ers are going to have a tough time offensively with how good this defense is. And I think defensively, 49ers are not going to be able to keep up with Sam Darnold in this offense. So I'm going to take Seattle to win this game.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go against you. Now we're gonna split again. Um, I actually think the opposite. We've seen San Fran play Seattle twice this year, obviously, and both those games were low scoring. even at Seattle, even in San Francisco. And obviously, San Francisco lost the last game that they played against them and didn't even score a touchdown. I think they get that revenge. I think this offense finds a rhythm even without George Kittle. You know, I think they actually find something, maybe just a tad bit. It's not going to be a high scoring game for sure. It'll be low scoring. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Seattle, but it definitely, I think, favors the man. It's hard to say, but I think it favors the San Francisco 49ers just because they just played a low scoring game and they just won, just barely escaped. So I think this works in in San Francisco's favor. It'll be close all the way down the stretch. It'll be tough, but I think Brock Purdy gets it done, and yeah, moves on to the championship game. I'm sticking with my guts here with 49ers potentially making the Super Bowl. So
Right now, this weather app's telling me it's gonna be 46 degrees. The high is 51, the low 36 that day. Um, 2 mile an hour wind speeds, but I don't know if that's gonna stay, which I doubt it will. But we will see. Um, Interesting pick, but that's us going against each other twice.
yeah, yeah, just sticking with my gut there. We'll see if that happens or not. Um, Moving on to the Sunday games. First game of Sunday is the Texans versus the Patriots. Uh, a game we were, previewing just a few minutes ago with how tough this is going to be,
Oh boy.
and yeah, it'll be interesting. Obviously, New England having the higher seed here. Houston is good at them, so in their favor there. But at the same time, they just came off a 16-point game, only beating the Chargers by 13, not having a good, you know, defense, not having a good offensive line in that game. They get to play, like you said, probably the best defensive line in the whole nation, in the whole league, and the best defense. So, like, what does Drake May do? What does that happen in this game? What can they do on the ground? What can they do in the air? Can their offense be effective and efficient? That's really the key. And drive down the field and score some points, because we saw that obviously the Texans offense, they were effective, but they didn't score too much. The defense is what scored for them in the Seattle game. So if you can stop that from happening, if you're New England, then maybe you can win this game because of the fact that we don't know what the Texans offense is going to look like a little bit. But at the same time, New England had a bad offensive game, and the last one, that may fall. Maybe they have another hangover and kind of do it again. I don't know. They're the second best scoring offense in the nation, fourth in passing yards, sixth in rushing yards, third in touchdowns, first per yards per play. And their defense is not bad either. They're fourth in points per game, ninth in passing yards, sixth in rushing yards, eighth in total touchdowns. So in those numbers, they look great. But then you look at the Texans and you go, yeah, but their defense is just better, man. They're second in points per game, sixth in passing yards, fourth in rushing yards, sixth in offensive touchdowns, seventh in sacks, and third in takeaways. Again, their offense isn't great. Their numbers aren't amazing across the board there. So that'll be the key in this game. But man, it's gonna be an interesting game. If CJ Stroud can not turn over the ball, if they don't fumble it, they don't intercept, throw some interceptions. This could be a high scoring game if both offenses get hot and maybe the defenses can't stop it. Or this could be a 6-3 game and nobody scores a touchdown. It could go either way. So it'll definitely be a game that will be interesting to say the least, and don't really know what to expect from it.
This game is so interesting to me in a lot of different areas. Um, we saw with New England how they played against the Chargers. Um, we talk about the offensive line being vulnerable in their area where they're at. They gave up 5 sacks. They're playing a better defensive line this week. They're playing a better
Yeah,
defense.
yeah,
Um, they had their struggles last week. They're gonna have their hands full this week.
for sure.
Um, I think they're gonna have a little bit of a harder time getting to CJ Stroud. I don't think it'll be much tougher, but it'll be a little bit tougher to get to CJ Stroud. I think you know this offensive line is going to have to be better. Drake May, if this offensive line is not going to be good, it doesn't play their best. Drake May's going to have issues. If they give up five
Hmm.
sacks to a Chargers defense, they might give up 8, 9 sacks. I mean,
True.
and that sounds crazy to say. It may not be that number, but it's it's just how much better this Houston defense line is. I
Yeah.
think CJ Stroud. I think CJ Stroud. Woody Marks had a great game last week. I think Woody Marks got going. I think overall, you look at this game. I think CJ Stroud, Woody Marks. You'd love to see Nico Collins get involved. Kirk had a great game last week. But for New England, I think they're going to have to be a little more sound offensively. And if they don't, they're going to end up losing this game.
Yeah, for sure.
And the
So
offensive
saying
line.
that, who do you? Yeah. So saying that, who do you think is gonna win?
I feel like I want to take New England, but my guts tell me to take Houston. I'm going to take Houston though. Um, I think this offensive line. To kind of watching last week, I kind of we saw some problems with New England, and
Hmm.
I kind of said it. I didn't think they were a fully complete team yet. I think they're almost there. Um, I think this offense is going to have some issues against this Houston defense. And I think CJ Stroud and Woody Marks are gonna have a great game. I think Woody Marks gets going on the ground. I think Nico Collins gets involved. I think Christian Kirk continues a great game. I mean, I think Houston is gonna beat New England and move on to the next round.
Dang. Well, I think it's gonna be the first one we agree on because I'm going with the Texans as well. Obviously, getting Nico Collins back. We saw their offense ran effectively last week without him, but they get him back, and I think kind of the newness for New England being back here again with a young team. Mike Vrabel's an amazing head coach, but I think kind of the maybe the more like the rookie mistakes kind of get to them. This offensive line, I don't think it's going to hold up, like you said, against the great defensive line of the Texans. I think this offense will run better than they saw last week, just more effective as in scoring more points. And I think it honestly won't be as low scoring of a game as people expect it to be. I know this Texans defense is great, but this offense for the New England Patriots is also great. I think it'll be a little bit high scoring um, in what we expect, and the Texans will pull it off. It'll be a close game. It'll be a great one. Obviously, Drake May is not going to go down without a fight. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be the first one we have to agree with. So, moving on to the last game here on Sunday, probably the game I look most forward to, honestly, the Rams and the Bears.
Oh boy. I'm excited. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
great game.
yeah, it's going to be an amazing game. Obviously, Chicago having um, the two seed and going and have the Rams get to travel to Chicago. This is big. Chicago coming off a good win, obviously a great comeback win, and the offense looked great in the fourth quarter. So the question is, can the offense keep that up, and not just in the fourth quarter? Um, can they actually do something in the first half? That'll be the question. They're playing a good Rams defense, but also a amazing Rams offense, who we did see the Panthers get down to them and come back. But I can't say that if you're the Chicago, you want to do the same thing you did against the Packers. Because I feel like if you get down that many points against this Ram offense, it's not going to go too well for you. And I don't think they're going to be able to score
But
25 points in the fourth.
I mean, to kind of counter that, I mean, they've kind of blown some leads of late, you know? But I mean, you don't want to do
True.
that. I mean,
True.
this is a good group though. You don't want to do that,
Yeah.
obviously. But I mean, again, this game, I told you this was going to be an interesting game. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at a Rams team who's kind of staggered their way. I wouldn't say staggered. They kind of got themselves in the playoffs, but they haven't been playing great. And you got this Bears team who's had the season they've had, but coming off a 25-point fourth quarter victory. I mean, we talk about the Rams defensive line. But a big factor
Yeah.
to the Bears' success this season, how and much improved this Bears offensive line has been. They've improved. They've done what they needed to do to get themselves a good offensive line and put themselves in the spot they are now. Um,
Yeah.
Again, Ben Johnson has been incredible. He's what he's done with his team. Caleb Williams has been great. He's getting protection. He's playing better. The Rams just they've had their struggles coming into this game. They've just had their
Mhm.
moments.
Yeah.
But again, I'm very interested to see how this game plays out.
For sure. I think it'll be. I think it might be the best game of the weekend. You're playing the best offense in the nation, in the league with Los Angeles, and obviously we've seen what this Bears offense can do, especially with their back pinned against the wall. They've played great. So it's what can they do on the offensive side if it can be as effective as they played in that fourth quarter against the Packers, but also if the defense can do kind of the same thing they did in the second half of the last game against the Packers to the Rams, this could be, a really hard game for the Rams. Um, Obviously, probably the MVP and Matthew Stafford throwing the ball for them is kind of going to say, hey, that's not what's going to happen. And obviously, that's what you want. You got to have to guard Nakua. He's a monster. He's probably going to have a touchdown or two no matter what. It's just, man, it's going to be a great game. I think it'll be a high scoring game for sure. Um, but speaking of that, who do you have to win?
I'm going to take Chicago. Um,
Mm, mm,
I think offensively they're going to get going like
yeah.
they did last week. My problem with this game has been the Rams, the way they played.
Hmm.
I think they've kind of staggered their way into the playoffs and kind of the sense of, I mean, they're not a bad team, but the
Hmm.
way they've played hasn't given me much confidence. They're playing a team who has the best turnover margin in the league. Matthew Stafford's been vulnerable this past few weeks to turnovers. Um, I mean, to me, I think Caleb Williams in this offense get rolling, and I think defensively, again, this is not a great Bears defense, but they force turnovers, and we kind of look at what Carolina did. I mean, obviously they didn't win the battle, but when they beat them earlier on in the season, they forced turnovers. You force turnovers on Matthew Stafford, you turn the game in your favor. To me, I just don't have enough confidence right now in this Rams team. I mean,
Hmm.
they're a great team. They could win the Super Bowl, but the way they've played of late, I can't. I just don't think, in my mind, I think the Bears have a better chance of winning this game.
I mean, and fair points. Obviously, all of those being good points for why the Bears can win this game, and they definitely can, especially being back in Chicago. This could all go their way, but I'm gonna have to go against you. I'm
I,
taking the MVP and Matthew Stafford.
I was,
Love the guy.
listen, man. I was waiting for the build up there. I was like, oh, here it goes. The build up.
I
Hey,
can't.
the build up was
I
great though.
can't go against. I can't go against them, man. It was the first team. It's honestly been my team to win the Super Bowl for quite a few weeks now that I think they can do it, and I'm just going to go with the Rams, man. I think Nakua is too much for Chicago to handle. I know their defense is great. They can turn over any offense in the league, and Matthew Stafford has had his problems with turnovers the last few weeks, and that could definitely make this game go in Chicago's favor if they can do that. And, they can get Matthew Stafford rattled. But we've seen what Matthew Stafford does. Even if he does get down, the man has ice in his veins. And he goes down and he scores a touchdown. And I think he does it again in this game. I think it's going to be that close. I think he's going to have to go down and score another touchdown or another score like they did in the Panthers game. And I think this is what pulls it off. I think that's what wins them the game. And the Rams are going to move on to the championship game, a place they haven't been in a few years, but the last time
Super Bowl
they did something
champs.
with it. So I don't know, and I think Chicago's a great team, and I think next year they'll be even more of a contender than this year. This year, like you said, for every reason they could easily win this game, and they could go to the Super Bowl. They could win it. But I just think this Rams team, man, if I had to pick a team to win the Super Bowl right now, it would be them. Just to say,
Fair point. Fair
just yeah.
fair point. Fair point.
Um, yeah. Well, we went through those. We got through those, and those are our picks for the games. Obviously, NFL picks, NFL playoffs will be interesting. We'll be watching all of those. We did want to cover the CFP, but we took quite a while on the NFL. Um, so honestly, we probably will make a separate video either tomorrow or Saturday, sometime within the next few days to get the
Yeah.
CFP covered, so
And
we can go fully in depth in that.
yeah, and we were
Um,
supposed to, that's supposed to be part of Monday's video, but of course we had so many difficulties getting
yeah,
that and not being able to get it out. So we decided, I mean, we needed to do the NFL, and we figured we'd cover the CFP Saturday, of course, the national championship game being Monday, January
yeah,
19th.
yeah. So we'll get that together over the next couple days. Just be watching out for that, um, and we'll talk that in full detail. So we don't have to rush through it today. Um, yeah. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Got an NHL video out last night. Go check that out. But no, man, go follow our socials. Go check those out.
Yeah, true that. True that. Also, go watch the start of the PGA Tour back again, the Sony Open in Hawaii. Nick Taylor's currently leading it. Shot a good old 62 today. I might be well. I mean, I would kind of like to cover probably Sunday whoever wins it. So, but we'll see. Go watch that too if you're not watching the NFL playoff games. But most of you probably are, or college basketball. A lot of good games. Wish y'all could have seen the video for that, but yeah, go follow us on all our socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Go watch podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music. They'll all be there. This will hopefully be posted pretty soon. So yeah, and we'll see y'all Monday to talk about the national championship.
There we go.